Guys, make sure you're tuning in every Monday through Friday at 7:30 Eastern Time PM to the Sneak and Geek Live, where you can interact with me and my audience on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube. All right, I look forward to seeing you there.
That I'm an answer if you ain't mine. Even if you call me up 100 times.
Okay.
Cause you know I go crazy for mine.
Hollywood writers go on strike after contract negotiations fail. The walkout means production on some of your favorite television series will grind to a halt, upending an industry already grappling with economic and technological disruptions. Hollywood writers are closing their laptops and heading to the picket line. Thousands of unionized scribes who say they are not paid fairly in the streaming era went on strike early Tuesday, bringing television production to a halt. It comes after high stakes negotiations between a top guild and a trade. Whew, sorry about that. Top guild and a trade association representing Hollywood's marquee studios failed to avert the first walkout in more than 15 years. The board of directors for the Writers Guild of America, which includes West Coast and East Coast branches, voted unanimously to call for a walkout and said writers face an existential crisis. The company's behavior has created a gig economy inside a union workforce, and their immovable stance in this negotiation has betrayed a commitment to further devaluing the profession of writing. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, a trade association that bargains on behalf of studios, television networks, and streaming platforms, said in a statement that its offer included generous increases in compensation for writers. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little bit torn on this, right? I'm a little bit torn. Because on one end, as a writer myself, obviously I want to see writers get paid. On the other end, as a person who's capable of thinking from a business mindset, what have y'all done to, like, what have y'all done to warrant, like, I don't even know what they're asking for. This is much like um what I was talking about yesterday with the video game industry, in that you got these people who are making a decent amount of money to begin with, but they're not doing much. It's like, if I'm a studio right now, I'm looking at my profit margins and I'm looking at all of this stuff that I've invested so much money into, and none of it's performing well. I'm looking at these writers like, okay, you asking for more money, but what am I getting? Just a bunch of woke garbage. Straight garbage. Make sure you hitting the like button for the algorithm, so we can boost these videos into the YouTube sphere, so we can continue to grow. But yeah, though, um, as a writer myself, I would love to make sure that people get paid the way they're supposed to get paid. But do you deserve it? Is what I'm asking. Like, I wish I would find out that there's some CW writers striking. You're doing the studio a favor. The CW is garbage. What about the Amazon writers? I'm not the Amazon writers. The Rings of Power writers. Are they boycotting? That's addiction. That's addiction by attraction, because they are garbage. Absolutely terrible. So, I mean, it's all good, you know. I think everybody should get paid, but I think too many people. It's a lot of these Gen Zers and millennials. And yes, I am a millennial. I'm roasting millennials. They have this socialism mindset, like everybody should get a piece of, a cut of the pie. Sweetheart, we are in a capitalist society. All right. No, absolutely not. So, right here it says the stakes and demands. WGA members are seeking pay increases and structural changes to a business model that they say has made it increasingly difficult to make a living in recent years amid the explosion of streaming platforms such as Netflix and Disney Plus. Median writer producer pay has declined 4%, or 23% when adjusted for inflation. That's a lot. The companies have used the transition to streaming to cut writer pay and separate writing from production, worsening working conditions for series writers at all levels. The guild added that more writers are working at minimum regardless of experience. In contrast, salaries for top entertainment executives have ballooned. in recent years. Okay. In a video message published April 11th, comedy writer and producer Danielle Sanchez Wazell, a member of the WGA's negotiating committee, said, "This is not an ordinary negotiating cycle. We're fighting for writers' economic survival and stability of our profession. The writers in the union are particularly frustrated that streaming era shows run for fewer episodes than their broadcast counterparts, making it tough to maintain a consistent income. In addition, residual fees, money paid when a show is put into a syndication or aired overseas, have all but disappeared as more content is hosted exclusively on streamer platforms." In an interview with NBC Nightly News, Raphael Bob Waxberg, the creator of Netflix's animated series BoJack Horseman, explained the writers' demand in stark terms: "We want more money. We want enough money to make a basic living doing what we love." I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be that the only people who can afford to try to start a career in television or movies are going to be people who are independently wealthy already, which I don't think is good for television or movies. I don't think we want that. Well, if this is the case, if I'm to take everything that I'm reading at face value, I think the writers have a point. I can see where streaming has made it, hey, that's hard to argue with. So I don't know. It's hard to know without being in the room. What is the company's point of view? What do they think? I don't know. It's hard to say. All right, we'll just move on.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the crib, look like Dracula's mansion, my baby. When you pull up, it's on action, my baby.